hello, and welcome back to Pathologic Classic. Um, on the last time, we inspected a plagued corpse, and had confirmed that the microbe cannot survive without a living body. And today, both the chine and the hindquarters are infected, and our bound in danger is George Kane. So that's not good. However, we already have a quest this early on, and I want to bang it out while it's still night, because usually there's not much to do in the night. Besides, of course, popping bandits, but eh. And as we see, infection has indeed spread itself into the knots. I want to barter. So, this is one of the other uses I was talking about for the razors. You can trade them with the guards, and the guards often have overpriced ammo, but also food. And since there's so many guards, this is one way that you can prevent yourself from starving. Go into an infected zone, trade with the guards. Give them items that are explicitly illegal or show signs of illegal activity. Kinda will trade for vigilantism, I suppose. So the razors, to them, indicates he killed a bandit, so have some food. And there'll be two other items later on that'll have similar properties. But first off, Yulia has some of the medicine. We should confiscate it.
I keep forgetting the most basic things these days.
I don't think that a positive outcome falls within the range of reasonable responsibility. There's no point whatsoever in trying to attain it. All we can do now is wait and hope that, by some miraculous coincidence, the epidemic will pass us by. Do tell me, how exactly are you planning to test these antibiotics? Oh, so you know it already? I need to contract the disease first, and then try to cure myself. I have 3 kinds of pills, you see. Conceivably, any one of the medicines may curb the sickness at a certain stage of its development. An exciting experiment if I ever saw one. Not quite unlike the feats of power they had in times long forgotten. A trial of fate. Yulia, this is nonsense. As far as I know, a disease of this sort can't possibly be cured by this kind of antibiotics. You're not wrong here. Still, I'd rather go with my own assumptions, not unlike yourself. I base my speculations on rigorous research, even though it may not look veritable to someone like you. Veritable. You see, in order to calculate the probability of either outcome, I had to extrapolate the 2 mathematic functions, which you may find to be somewhat esoteric. So what does the process that you have in mind look like? Nothing revolutionary, I assure you. The experiment is fundamentally getting myself infected and using the 3 medicinal formulas one after another. Besides, the Olgimsky girl provided me with a schmouder that I am free to use if neither of the pills has effect. Absolutely precious, these schmouters. Extremely detrimental for your liver, but also certain to remove the infection. Everything will work out fine, I hope. I have a better proposal, you see. I would be very interested to study these schmouters myself, and I think I am better equipped to do it. Give the schmouters to me, and I will handle everything. Pardon me, but I have my own prospects regarding the schmouter. What medicine were you given, then? Here. It is called Ferromycinium, the most powerful medicament they had in stock, as well as the most hazardous. Known to purge the bacteria by means of destroying all manner of microflora, harmful and otherwise. proves to be of use, the Glimsky family will distribute it all throughout the town. Is that all? There's two more medicants, neomycinium and monomycinium. Reportedly, both are much weaker than the first, but each one has useful characteristics of its own. I wouldn't know what kind of characteristics these are. Pharmaceuticals is not my field of... or... Pharmaceutics? I don't know. Is not my field of study. That's enough. I'll do it myself.
What can cure this disease?
Wonder what she has to do with those powders. But if she needs it for herself, I am willing to believe that. Also, the music here is especially warped. Singing was already strange. Adding in this childish sounding voices even more upsetting, honestly. Sir, please leave. Go inside. You lady, you can stay out. And while we head to see Laura, we can kill another bandit. Yes. Yes, indeed. That was very sloppy. Oh yeah, we have enough bandages. Tourniquets, they're not worth it. What's Lara Raval have?
Clemency is born not of virtue, but rather of fear.
I'm so glad nothing bad happened to you yesterday. Tell me, are you really planning to test antibiotics? No, I'm not. Vlad the Younger claimed that he asked you to test some dubious remedies. I wanted to try the antibiotics, but I wasn't allowed to. I'll have to work with painkillers. Vlad the Younger says they're closer to my line of trade anyways. If I'm the host of the House of the Living, I'll have to handle them often. They ease pain, but also make you drowsy and apathetic. How exactly are you planning to test them, anyway? I know how they work. All I need to do is to find a man whose line of work naturally leads to being wounded frequently. I was planning to distribute the drugs among the patrolmen, but I could rather give them to you if you wish. If you have any success testing out all three types, then that means they're still fine. The Olgimskis will begin giving them out to the population. I'll take them. You know what? There's something else I wanted to ask of you. Please put a stop to Yulia's efforts and support Anna. Yulia has her own motives, yet I have a terrible suspicion that she might have given up to despair. And poor Anna doesn't deserve this either. I'm absolutely positive that she isn't planning to offer the medicine assigned to her to the test subjects. She's too compassionate for that. But she won't go anywhere herself either. What's wrong with Anna? She is certain the old Glimskis are only doing this to get her, and to have her dead. And she might not be all that wrong. Oh, really? I don't think it's big, Vlad, yet the Olgimskis are definitely a threat to her. There isn't a shade of doubt in anybody's mind that one of them will become the death of her. I see. Okay, now please hand over the painkillers. They'll be of use to me. And I suppose next we see Anna. I think, Vlad the Younger also mentioned giving meds to... and Ava. Yeah, I should see Ava too, even though she's not marked. Dunno why not, but it doesn't hurt. if I am not mistaken, this is one of the days with, actually 4 quests going on, so having this quest occur during the morning hours is a blessing in disguise, honestly. Just means I have more time to get everything done, and I'll be able to drop by and grab some coffee to stay awake. Which is funny because I have coffee right next to me to stay awake at 2 a.m. Alright. We don't have any really good trading items. We have to use these for testing, of course, so... Wow, I can't afford a meal. I'll take dried fish for the moment. There. Yeah, so we need to find money, or at the very least a good way to trade with the patrolmen. Another hour has passed. Let me check OBS. Yes, I am recording properly. And yeah, you can see off in the distance the hindquarters is infected too. You know what? Since we got interesting dialogue out of this guy while talking about another district, tell me about the flank. 'Tis adjoined to the middle of the knots from northwest. In simpler words, 'tis the western edge of the middle cape. The shelter, the Raval's mansion is there. Why'd you ask? Well, tell me about the Ravals. A shady family. There used to be a Captain Raval here. Only a military man in the entire town, but he was worth a battalion, if you ask me. He snapped a bull with his bare hands once. He used to hit 9 bottles out of 8 from 50 steps away. Tough man he was. Did he die? Killed in the war, or so they say. In the war, but not in the field. There are rumors aplenty, and now his daughter Lara, a senile and cordial orphan, lives in the shelter. An angelic lady, pure and worthy of the most sincere compassion. Why'd you call the Raval shady, then? For I am rotten. 'Tis all my foul tongue, striving to tittle and tattle. Your reproach is just Professor, and so I will be keeping mum from now on. Not a single vicious word shall escape my lips. And as for the departed, 'tis all nonsense. What departed? What departed? I never said a word about departed people. No one departs anything. 'Tis all baby talk and superstition. And now I have to take my leave, Professor. Here's your hat, so to speak. And what's your hurry? Goodbye and good riddance. Fine. You'll sing like a bird later anyways. What dick. Well, that's great. Guards ruthlessly chasing after these dying people. Well, if you do not mind me, I will just be, interesting. Oh no. Fuck, I've been infected, shit. Yeah, I forgot about rats and one snuck up on me. Whenever you get hit at all by rats, you are instantly infected by a very small amount. So, that's just stellar. I've already been infected on day 4. Well, let's make the best of it and hope that I can afford fucking anything. Fortunately, I was just given a bunch of medicine. Could not have come at a better time, honestly. There. Yeah, so Anna's mansion is just outside of this infected area.
What?
It's over. All hope is lost. Anna, tell me, What's the deal with the drug testing of yours? We were made to test some strange pills. Yulia, for example, is supposed to enter an infected house, get sick there, and die. How's that for a test, huh? I seem to be missing the point of such tests. She's supposed to test some sort of antibiotic. Her task is to become infected and treat herself with it. If the drug fails, her only option is to cure herself at the last moment with a diabolical concoction. That mishmash children's thing. The one that works best if you need to send an adolescent to an early grave. Capella's almost done it twice. And what's your task? Oh, I'd never have the guts to take part in this mad effort. Those poor souls. They'll come by here and then they'll go to yet another infected house to face certain death. They'll be held in there for several hours under lock and key, taking some sort of drug that'll supposedly protect them from the infection. If it's good, that is. How will you know if it's good or bad? It's precisely the madness part. Vlad made the Death Seekers promise that if they do get sick, they'll let us know through the morticians. You know, the fellows have been walking around in theater costumes, and if all goes well, they'll inform you their contact. And for some reason, that's me. What do I have to do with this? What kind of drug did you receive? Been given 3 different drugs. They all ruin your health, but each does that in its own spectacular manner. Give them to me. I'll do the testing. This is the house that the executors are planning to test the drugs in. They're already waiting for test subjects willing to risk their lives. And she gives you a bunch of, what are the items called? I walked into that cloud. Kinda deserve that. Immunity. Yeah, they're immunity drugs. So we got antibiotics, immunity drugs, and painkillers. I guess we're just gonna have to swish them all at once in this house. Although first, I do want to check out if Ava Yan has any drugs on her as well. Although there could have been a dialogue I missed where Vlad was like, oh, but she didn't take it and I'm just not remembering. I do these like every 2 days or so, these recordings. Sometimes I hop onto it earlier if I'm, I don't know, especially bored, but I'm gonna give a little bit of time for people that are interested in the series to not get crowded. Where'd all my bullets go? To not get crowded out by big 2-hour, 30-minute uploads like every single day. Oh, I guess the bullets are loaded into my weapon. Didn't know that. So we have more ammunition than it looks. Nothing I can do there. One of these houses over here is the quest location. Come at me. Gotcha. Yeah, and there's the executor. We'll come back to him. It's not a short walk away. There's another mugger over there. Bottle and a pin. That was close. And we got him. Even in the rich district, there's these men. Alright. And in I go blasting. Bad miss. Oh, so that's the first time we heard that battle check. Which is kind of cute. I think that's the only battle track in the... No, the Termitary and Abattoir ones are in the soundtrack. It's just that the Knots and Earth ones are missing. There's a couple of missing tracks in this game, but you can find them in the files.
What?
All hope is gone. A rumor has it you've agreed to test outdated antibiotics. Is it true? No, but I've got an impression that Anna and Lara wouldn't mind you helping them. Some hypocrisy. Why did they volunteer in the first place if they knew they lacked the courage to put their lives at stake? I'm confused. So why did they? Vlad the Younger found commoners willing to test all of the Isidor's drugs. Supposedly he took those for protection before entering molded houses. The ladies were put in charge of the whole affair, entrusted with keeping an eye on the experiment. And here they go, claiming they are going to do just fine without anybody's help. Can you imagine that? I'll be damned. I have personally forbidden anyone to take risks. This whole thing has to be cancelled. Oh no, I knew you'd say that. What can I do to make you forget it and stay here? Nothing. Yeah, so she's just not important. But I think it's good to have heard her side, anyways. Although, I'm noticing another thing. I like to highlight trends I'm seeing in this story. Perhaps a bit too quick, but it just becomes kind of evident to me. But, Ava's talking a lot about death and sacrifice, I found, from her conversations. Can't remember what she said yesterday, but I remember it being strikingly morbid. And this time around, she seems to be well, not chastising, but she's definitely making a criticism of these girls for not wanting to risk themselves. And I would assume that she doesn't like that I'm the one going off to sacrifice myself. Pretty clear that she has a thing for the old Bachelor. Even the painting in her room, even that resembles the Bachelor, and that's outright a coincidence. Hopefully, at least. Unless she's been watching me and had some kind of like a crush from across the capital. But, that seems a bit implausible. But then again, bloody mold growing on walls is implausible, and here it is, actively spreading. Also, more worrying news. Supposedly this is the infected house they're gonna lock me in? It's another location in the Knots. Not the Earth, the poor district. So it's continuously spreading into the middle income districts. Are you one of the death-seeking test subjects? Here to try the pharmaceutical drugs? Yes, that's me. The procedure is simple. I'll let you in and wait for an hour. That time is known to be enough to, be certain. You have the pills? Indeed I do. Immunity boosters or antibiotics? Both. Take the boosters first. Just be careful. They're deadly in large doses. Sooner or later, you'll start to feel dizzy. Those are the first symptoms of the disease. Eventually, the fever will become unbearable. It'll be the disease entering its critical phase. I am aware. The latent stage is not life-threatening, but in such an environment where one will breathe the disease and absorb it through his pores constantly, the infection will progress rapidly. Take the antibiotics then, and kill off the bacterium when it propagates too much. Are you trying to lecture me on microbiology? No need for that. I'm simply summarizing what we managed to learn after the first outbreak, and in the last few days. I hope luck is on your side. Luck has nothing to do with this. So, let's start this. Delta tablets and Gamma tablets. So now we have full immunity, which is pretty good. It's a stationary plague cloud in here. Fortunately, it's blocking some kind of loot, so that's unfortunate. It's another stationary... No, I think that one's moving above me. No, I think it's stationary. I think this is actually the only... I think this is actually, like, the only, home in the game. Let me see, 10, 15... Wow, that's a strong one. Yeah, I think this is, like, the only house in the game where, there are stationary plague clouds, like, out in the districts. Anyways. Let me wait for her. Not worth much, but I am a doctor. This is kind of my job. And here's the mobile plague infection. Let me go around it, because if I can, I'd rather not try it. If they give me a schmouter by the end of this, that would just mean I get to keep the powder. But, if it turns out that I do... Oh wait, I'm already infected from the rat. Damn it. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Sleep easy, ma'am. Well, I suppose we can just loot the house up if we know that we need to use the powders later anyways. 53 people infected, 51 died, 22 missing, death toll 204, currently infected 58. I also just jumped over that plague cloud, by the end of which the Bachelor realizes that the town is unprepared for an epidemic of this scale. That's, very assuring, game. There we go, let's have some light. I'm not really willing to give up this last thing of, painkillers. So, I guess that lady is just gonna have to suffer. Since we're stuck in here, though, you might as well loot everything. Who knows, you might even get lucky. That's unlootable. I just want to restate just how disgusting these places are. It's like... ugh. The way I describe it is that these are clearly, like, Eastern European-styled homes, at least on the insides. Like, Yardgay's place has rugs on the walls. I learned that from Ed, actually. Ugh. Mixing, like, these red wallpapers with blood and mold. It's really disgusting and uncanny. Look at this. Straight up Silent Hill shit. And you know, if these infected places couldn't be any less pleasant, they have all of these draped up clothing and sheets hung up against the walls, blocking your vision constantly. Anyways, this plague cloud despawned, so I'm going to take that too as a cue to move downstairs. Go to the last cloud we couldn't pass by. After that, we just have to wait and survive. Oh. If we still have more time, I'll go upstairs and loot the final lady. Also, you can just jump over those clouds if you're really good at your timing. I think I remember doing that, but it's so precise that I don't consider it much of a strat. Just a cute thing you can do if you want. Where's the other lady? She's in one of these middle rooms. Yeah, there she is. Of course, they were dirt poor peasants, but it's something. By the way, these plague clouds are just standard. They have human pathfinding. They can't move through walls or anything. The plague can be seen walking down the stairs in the correct fashion there. We still have to stay in here. Oh, we're out. Unbelievable! You managed to come out of there alive, you sly devil. Let me take a closer look. Will you show me your pupils? Stop trying to be funny. There's no one here who could check my condition better than me. Duties, duties. We're all bound by our duties. I was tasked with giving you this drug. Use it as intended. Just make sure that you can afford to do that. Takes a great toll on the body. Make sure you're neither wounded nor bleeding. Yada yada. I know. Give it to me now. Let's check. Oh, it's done. Are they considered safe for one's health? Regardless, their effect is only temporary. Protection granted by immune system stimulants is insubstantial at best, whereas the antibiotics can be slow. The development of the disease may, in some cases, destroy the infection altogether. Huh. But yeah, that supports what's happened when we came in. I had full immunity, but when I ran into a plague cloud, I still got infected. So, that stat only prevents you from becoming infected faster. It doesn't prevent initial infection. Antibiotics being able to destroy infection altogether, though, that's an interesting tidbit. Anyways, I'm going to go see Anna, Lara, and Yulia. Just stop by since I've completed the task. And before I use the powders, I want to go loot around the infected districts. Probably up in the knots. Please move, lady. I hear dying people screaming in the distance. This plague is distinctly tragic. You also see a rat. Alright, I should show this off. Rats. Let me reload my gun. If you shoot, they run. So if you desperately want to get a rat off your tail, desperately want to get a rat off your tail, just fire off a shot, and they will scurry away.
Yeah.
Tested the pills, Anna. You can tell the Oglimskis that your duty is fulfilled. Oh god, where would I be without you? If you ever need my life, come and take it. Used to be a performer, Hannah. Am I right? Skill is apparent. That's some convincingly strong emotion. She gives me 5 tablets and a ring. Or a bracelet. Which I will... Well, no, it's actually the prices are pretty stable today. 800 for dried fish and bread is pretty good. So I'm gonna wait for a day where the prices are especially jacked up to start selling my stuff. So for the day... Yeah, for the day I'm just going to have to survive with what I have. Tooth and nail. Although I should check back up real quick for this district. Now instead of being a bright green, it's a bright yellow, and as you can see, the houses are all boarded up. This is what happens when an area stops being infected. It gets boarded up and quarantined. Oh, I'm out of ammunition. Well, time to wait for this guard to hopefully die. Thank you for the medicine and crackers. God, this is just... Even this site is disturbing in its own right. It's all walled off now. And the bright yellow doesn't make the place feel any less sickly. Kind of feels like... It almost feels like the town is having its... almost identity erased. Like, the boards up against the windows are like... I don't know, I both feel it's akin to suffocating and... it's like a mask, I guess. It's hard for me to describe how I feel looking at that, but it's distinctly still disturbing. The plague districts are disturbing, and the town is disturbing after it. You can even say that it was disturbing before, but it's a bit much. Anyways, since we have powders, we can start abusing these houses again, just like we did on, I think, day 3. God damn it. That was bad. That was bad. Although, just to give us more time... There we go. Full immunity. We also... I should have remembered that you can overdose, but those are really weak tablets, so they don't hurt you nearly as much as the bigger ones. Bigger ones. I don't know why commentating's a bit harder today. Perhaps it just happens. Yeah, infection isn't going up very high because we have this big shield. Holy fuck, that's a rifle. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. So a rifle, as you saw, was worth 10,000 last time we saw Bad Grief. And on top of that, it's just a late game strong weapon that we just found in an infected house. Okay. Luck, I guess. I remember the layouts of these houses pretty well. I did. I'm not gonna lie, I've loaded up the game a couple of times over the years. I've only been playing this game for like 10 months. Well, not on and off, but like, again, played it back in December. It's October now. But, I'd occasionally boot up the game just to loot these houses and see what I could find. Which makes it all the more weird that I found a rifle, because I've never found a rifle. I've found pistols, but I've never found a rifle in these homes. Just goes to prove what you can gain from these infected homes. But even then, is it worth it? Maybe? Either way, though, I'm going to loot a few houses, but since we have so many quests today, I don't want to get caught up wasting too much time. Quests already take up enough of our hours. I don't need to be doing pointless looter work. There's a cabinet over there, but I remember that you can't loot it. There's just a bunch of little quirks to these infected areas. Show off the ones that I know about. I'm a bit in a hurry right now, but it's always worthwhile to... No, it isn't worthwhile at all, but it's interesting to see the decor in these areas. Like, the paintings are all especially eerie after the places are infected. I don't know why, it almost feels like something's forcing. I don't know, it's just very weird. It's weird how these places can get so inconsistent. I usually don't understand what's going on. Like I mentioned on I think the third day, these places don't look like they're ripped through by a plague. They look like something came barreling through here, tossing shit around. And I don't feel like that's just some kind of like weird sloppy jank. I feel like it's supposed to be this uncanny, or uncanny in this way. And it is a very strange effect, looking at it, because there's no logical explanation to it. There's no logical explanation to a lot of this. Guess it just prays that well to... Or prays that well on the, what's the word for it? Oh yeah, fear of the unknown. What is happening here? What I do know is I'm getting a bunch of kerosene. After this home, I'm done and I'll crack the schmouters. And they just walked right under that plague cloud. I'll take it. It ain't losing. Although, the poor Bachelor, he's constantly... Yesterday and now today, we're having our bowels just fucking rot and boil by having these powders. Of course, I'm being kind of a dick with it and prolonging the suffering of the infection to loot, but yeah. Okay, that's enough for the day for plague looting. We got a rifle. That's already insane enough. Once I'm out of this plague area, I'll pop the powders. First, let's talk to Yulia.
What can cure this disease?
Tested the antibiotics. They work. Just as I thought. Were the stages of their effect consistent with my assumptions? Yes, this looks very likely. You're a man of exceptional courage, Bachelor. Everything you have done is greatly appreciated. Seems I have to think of some other way to test my theories. Whatever it may be, Yulia, I hope it's less adventurous. And she gives us a cloak. A repellent cape. And this is a very good clothing item which will decrease how easily infected we are, and also reduces the amount of damage we take. However, it also has durability, which we'll need to upkeep with the women of the town. The women repair your clothes, the factory workers repair your weapons. Speaking of which, I should find one of those workers to get my weapons spruced up. Now let's down these powders. Thank Christ. So, now that this quest is done, let's check our notes to see, yeah, who wants to see us. I was informed that our major concern today is to prepare the town to defend itself in the face of the calamity that has befallen us. Although it is the Olgimsky family who are in charge of these issues, we would like to contribute as much as we can. Besides, something tells me you are not going to be all that happy with the yieldings of Vlad's undertakings. Please find a moment to discuss a certain idea with me, Victor Kane. And Vlad Olgimsky's report on sanitary precautions. As of today, we are ready to provide you with the premises where you will be able to establish a hospital, an isolation ward, and a morgue. Please see me at the lump to discuss further details. Vlad the Heavy. Sounds good to me. We'll see Big Vlad, and then we'll meet up with Victor. And I will have a sip of my coffee. I can feel my health burning away. Why are you sticking like a leech to me? Tell me, are you a doctor? Well, yes. So you have a bandage, a tourniquet, any bandaging material? And what do you need it for? What for? How is that even a question? What do you think is the most useful thing in a fight? What, if you're bleeding, or your joint's been dislocated? How do you fight a war without bandages? And they're nowhere to be found. Come on, we've been there before. Stop this inane war of yours. Go home and stay until aid arrives. Until aid arrives? When will that be? What are you supposed to eat, huh? There's no bread in the town, and now there's no water, too. Stay in, he says. You must be eating healthy and nutritious food, ain't you? Got yourself some nice chow, don't you, sir, Bachelor, sir? You moron. The kids are simultaneously some of the smartest people in town and some of the brattiest in town. What's with the disgusted expression? Yuck! The river stinks. I wonder why. What do you mean, stinks? Stinks with what? Who do you think I am? A professional stinker? I don't know, but the stench is awful, and tons of dead fish get washed ashore. Their bellies are all soft, white, and bloated. Yuck. I wonder if the water's been poisoned. I didn't see anything of the kind. More alarming accounts. Adding on to the pile of alarming accounts. This town cannot get a break. Although, even saying that, doesn't seem like they're trying. Well, it doesn't seem like they're too worried about it. All of the officials are pissing themselves, but these townfolk are remarkably calm. In fact, I'd say that well, there was panic on day 2 at least. But then you have the, drunkards that are just always, I guess, too out of it to... Yeah, maybe they are reacting appropriately. Maybe I'm a little bit deluded, but, I will say, walking around the town, like, I can get it. Oh, the infection's going to die in the Skinners, or the Tanners district, just like the infection that happened in the crude sprawl. That means I can walk around. But now, The infection is in the knots. This isn't just one isolated case like the first outbreak. And people are still walking around. Ugh.
Someone will have to be punished for this sin.
Greetings, Honorable Doctor. Our job is almost done. Are you satisfied? Depends on how well you've done it. We did well, though it was a challenging task. The so-called waste house has proved to be an ideal location. We've been cleaning it up to refashion it into a morgue. As for the isolation ward, it will be found at the Revals. What? As far as I know, Lara Reval was planning to turn her house into a small shelter for a few dozen people tops, and nothing more. She agreed to undertake urgent steps. You know how fast the disease spreads better than anyone. Too many people are striving for a safe haven. An isolation ward is not a shelter. It's a sludge tank for the people hailing from extremely unsafe places, which under the circumstances basically means everyone who's been outdoors. Do you consider a mansion to be an inappropriate place for this? I'll take a look into it. What about other facilities? The hospital is almost ready to be opened. I'm not sure there's much sense to it, though, unlike the morgue. Everyone has already admitted the disease to be the sand pest. We have chosen one of the standard houses. You'll like it. Hopefully no one was deprived for roof over their heads, were they? Of course not. We wouldn't be so harsh as to drive people out of their homes. Even in the case of an emergency. Don't worry, Doctor. There isn't a single soul living in that house. Obviously, it's not one of the houses that were infected yesterday, is it? Well, actually it is. Nevertheless, we've made a most peculiar observation. There isn't a single trace of infection in the houses today. We've learnt it by chance, thanks to marauders. They stock these places with no antibiotics whatsoever. Victor Kane would like to discuss this matter with you. I'll examine the house as you have arranged for. If they meet minimal sanitary requirements, go ahead and start directing the sick there. Later we'll come back here to inform you when it's time to announce the hospital situation to the general public. Need to inspect Lara's house, huh? Alright. But first I'll dip down to the Kanes. I'd also like to talk to Vlad the Younger. See what he has to say about the tests. Victor, I guess, is talking about the mass lootings in the Tanner's district. That's to be presumed, however. Once we're actually dealing with it, I will discuss how burnt out districts work. But for now, I'll just say that they're deadly and really scary. Saw a little taste of it. A couple of guards already getting shanked by the bull-cutted men seen at night.
Clara has lured Ripper into an ambush.
A rough crowd demands rough measures. I sincerely hope you wouldn't get it into your head that I'm enjoying this. I've tested the drugs. They're effective, more or less. Did you do it yourself? You were extremely reckless. The young ladies nearly died because of you. That's disheartening to hear. They aren't children, won't you agree? In times like these, everyone contributes in the way they can. They must have known what they were doing when they offered their help. It really doesn't seem so. And it gives me money and the little, plague detector glass. So that's nice. Oh wait, the money means I can eat. Ah, lovely. Don't need to eat now, however. I might as well carry this around just to brag. Yeah. Whoops, I scared off the little girl. I wanted to trade with her. Whoops. The guns are... or... the rifle is a bit of an oddity in terms of weaponry. It has insanely slow, reloading, and its ammunition is expensive. At least when you're actually buying it and not trading for it. In trade, it's only worth 2. So, 2 pins instead of the revolver ammo's 1. And it also pierces through enemies, which is a niche thing that barely matters. Also, the kids are now carrying around antibiotics. They're worth a lot, however. The thing is, I can sell these back to stores for a big price. So I'm going to invest in them while I have this excess of items like watches. And then when the prices are inflated, I'll sell them back to the stores. Also, we have a fuck ton of pins, which means these girls are just gonna be a treasure trove for me. Might as well stock up on a bit of rifle ammo, just in case. But revolver ammo, at least for now, is kind of the standard.
If we conquer our passions, it is more from their weakness than from our strength.
A new phenomenon manifested itself today. It might be of interest to you, as it admittedly is to me. We may have stumbled upon a mystery whose solution may have far-reaching consequences. This concerns the Skinners district. Oh yeah, it is the Skinners, not the Tanners. The Tanners holds Alexander and Katerina, along with Anna. Alright. It's remarkable how this microorganism seems to penetrate walls and permeate the air. It's not supposed to. The microbe doesn't survive long outside a nutrient-rich environment. Indeed, you're reading my thoughts. The Skinners have died out, supposedly. It has become entirely free of infection. The streets, the walls, the various objects, and the corpses. Everything is clean. People can safely touch bodies that only recently were a very strong source of infection. How is this known? The news was brought from looters who have been all over the district grabbing abandoned property. I've already given the orders to deal with them, but only you can ascertain that the homes are really disease-free. Why are you so interested in these rumors? If these rumors are true, we'll start making the abandoned homes ready for their new tenants. I can foresee us soon needing to find room for refugees from other infected districts. We'll give them provisional lodging at the vacant houses. I'm sure you understand that in order to make such a risky decision, I must be absolutely certain. What can I do to help? Take a look around the Skinners. Check inside the houses. If they are truly clean, find something that could prove it. Of course, you may use any abandoned property as you see fit. Better you get it than the looters. Yes, it's promising. I'll be back with a report. that is strange now that I think about it. So it needs a living source, but when it's clearly in the air, just being flung at people, it's not attached to anything living. It's only when the corpse is taken... That is incredibly weird now that I think about it. It cannot be spread from corpses. It is not necrotic. However, the infection can't just live, or lives on more than just human bodies. It permeates the air. And the air, as far as we know, isn't alive. But now that I think about it, homes growing bloody mold, scabs on the ground. Something's not right here. If I was a damn lunatic, I would even say that the world itself is alive. But then that would imply that these cleaned out districts, that would mean that the world itself died. And that's a horrifying thought, to be entirely honest. Yeah, I don't like that one bit. I don't like that. I'll sell all this off just to, you know, they aren't especially worth much, so I can, sell those off now just to provide me with a source of food until we can really exploit the bad prices. Lastly, let's talk to Lara. One, because we completed the testing, and two, because we have to check out how her home would work as a hospital. I don't really believe that this place is too small.
There are dark rings under your eyes.
Is it true that you're planning to host an isolation ward? Do you realize what it entails? I didn't have a choice. Didn't have a choice? Why? I had to do it to protect the privacy of certain information, the good name of a certain person, and most likely the life of another one depends on it. Surely that's reasonable enough. Forgive me, it's uncomfortable for me to talk about it. Lara, this is suicide. Or wait. Tell me. No, enough questions, please. I've told you more than I should have. I can have it your way. It's tough, but if that's what has to be done, then that's fine. I'll make do. There won't be too many patients, even fewer of them strangers. But we're out of water. We need to arrange for it to be delivered. Vlad the Younger can help with that. He knows the local water supply chain like the back of his hand. Wait, you have no water? How is that possible? Well, it's not running anymore. I don't know why. The pipes are empty. They produced rusty, clotted liquid of reddish color for a while, but then even that has gone too. Well, who can sort this out? Perhaps Vlad the Younger could not be of help. He's been making himself busy with water pipes, wells, and the likes for years. I think it's personal. He treats water as if it was liquid gold, procures it just as eagerly. Alright, I'll talk to him about it. Alright. Abandoned warehouse will become a morgue. That abandoned warehouse. Alright. First off, let's go, see Vlad the Younger, and I guess then we will check out that warehouse. Just in the works. Alright. Interesting, interesting ideas you have here, old Gimsky. And by interesting, I mean, what vision do you have here? Wow, wow, that's startling. What's wrong with you? What? Wanna know what'll happen to the Ripper? And what will happen? He will heal the god, and then the grief for the loss will break him. It's because a very pretty lady will fall in love with him shortly, and right now, he's crafting the tools for her execution. Wait, why? What execution? He has no choice. He wants to help everyone. He's actually not a Ripper. He's a Haruspex. He is a lot like you. Honest and kind. Maybe he's your brother. Please spare me a brother like this. Shotgun shells. I like how every time you talk to these girls, they say, "We know all about you." I don't like that all the little children in this town are intimidating. I honestly have no clue why I said that, because it's not even remotely true. It is funny, though, how all of these children have their own little personality. Despite being clones of clones of clones. That's kind of metatextual. Again, they are extras. Come on, let me talk to you.
Clara has lured Ripper into an ambush.
How come there's no water in town? Town's water supply has been sabotaged and ruined. To be more precise, we've lost the purifying system on the water intake that supplies water from the Gorkin to the people's homes. How did that happen? Local blockheads, egged on by some overly active taskmaker, destroyed the water supply to prevent infected water from getting into the town. Can you see it now? I'm telling you, the crowd is rough. Damn it. What shall we do now? If I were you, I'd seize the cathedral and the theater as soon as possible. Those buildings have access to spring water, although dangerous zealots popping up, the town's springs are to be feared for as well. Who knows what those idiots will think up next? Are you planning to find them, by the way? Of course I will. They're very likely to be hiding in the same den as the runaway rebels, which does, by the way, give you food for thought. Never mind that. Same den as the runaway rebels. Aspity. It makes sense to speak with Aspity. It would be rather disappointing to die of thirst while everyone is busy dying of the sand plague. Let's do our best to make sure nobody dies of thirst. In order to start arranging water deliveries and postcards at the Sugakudak Spring... I butchered that name. It wouldn't be enough for the whole town, but it's better than nothing. So hurry up and seize the springs at the Stone Yard and the Spin a Yarn Square. That is, the cathedral and the theater springs. Let's do it then. Inform Gimsky about the sabotage. And whenever we need to, well, go talk to Aspity. But that will come a little bit later. I think when we're heading to the supposed morgue, we'll do that. Let me look at my quests. Yeah. Let me check. Thought the inspection was deadliest or bring something. Informal Gimski. So I should just ignore the house of the morgue? Or the warehouse? Alright. I'm willing to skip a step. Plus, we want to get people the water. I doubt an abandoned, well, actually that's a morgue. I don't think the dead need water. This does go for Lara's shelter. If she doesn't have water, we don't want the sick and dying to just die of thirst, of all things. If they can be saved, which I doubt it, we want to preserve their lives. At least help them pass easy. Oh, amazing trade there, girl. 1 alpha tablet. What time is it? It's 12, half the day. That's what's so scary about this, time mechanic.
Hard. It's hard.
Even starting in the middle of the morning, we've been running around doing quests, and it's already half the day. In 12 more hours, all quests fail. Are you aware that the trouble of your people are you aware that the trouble your people went through proved to be absolutely in vain? How so? The residential property has no water access. You'll have to redirect your attention towards public buildings. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. There are several buildings in the town. The town hall, the warehouses, the theater, the cathedral. My people are confused. They aren't ready to shoulder this responsibility. What are they afraid of? They're unsure as to whether these buildings will do. The sanitary condition there are non-existent. It's unclear how to prepare them. Doctor, I need your instructions. Just in case, I've ordered these places to be off limits to the general public and sent inspectors in. But I suspect they'll be rather useless. How can I help them? Please do examine the cathedral and the theater. Issue the appropriate orders. Bring me the keys. I'll be ready to confirm your findings and begin working on those places. Wait here then. I'll be back with the keys. So now, to check out the cathedral and the theater. More running around. I suspect that today is going to be one of the harder days to get all the tasks done, but I'm willing to see it out. Starting with the theater, where a lone executor already is positioned. The theater is closed by supreme command. The season's over. The troops disbanded. Follow the news on the poster columns. Who ordered the theater closed? Vlad Olgimsky, better known as Vlad the Voluminous. Olgimsky, I've actually come to relay his orders to you. From now on, all you theater folk are placed under my command. You will do whatever I tell you to. Ooh, thrilling! We theater folk thought it was, well, the other way around. that it was you who had recently been placed under our command, and we could do whatever we, well, it's not really done through talking. Don't try your luck, beakhead. Unfortunately, our most esteemed and graceful sir stage assistant has gone home with the keys. May it be known to you that he lives in the Chine district. As soon as it became known that a calamity is unfolding in the Chine, a tragedian went there. We haven't heard from him since. I'll find him. Keeper of the theater keys hangs somewhere around this ruin. Ah, lovely. Great. Let's check out the theater first. What would really suck is if I have to rummage through infected houses to find this person. Fortunately, a tragedian should, stick out like a sore thumb. Ditkovsky, would you be so kind as to tell me what's going on? The end of the world. I need to get inside, and you need to gather as many people as you can and put yourself to work on some public services. What do we need to do? Whatever I instruct you to after I inspect the building. Well, Gimsky's men locked it up. Lately, those armed servants of his have been acting like they own the place. He had ordered them to straight out kill anyone who tries to leave the termitary, and well, that order did nothing to improve their moral stance. Did he really give such an order? Yes, and they even executed the orders. I mean, oh, well, it happened more than once. I've heard there are 13 people dead already. You didn't hear from me. Supposedly, several runaways managed to escape and have gone into hiding. Gimsky is offering a hefty 2,000 for any information about each of them. Just information. Only if it proves to be true, of course. Some have already been caught. Damn it. So, if he didn't follow through, they're still being persecuted. Great. How do I get inside the cathedral? My cousins have the keys. They both went to the hindquarters on some business with Andre Stomatin. Very well, I will find your cousins. And they're also in infected areas. Stellar. So, we're gonna have our work cut out for us. Backtracking. Just worming our way through the district. Look at all these icons all over the fucking place. Well, it only makes sense to start with the theater. Get the tragedian out of the area. Or find him. Then we will worm up to the burnt out district and check out these robberies. And then we move down to the hindquarters to get another set of keys. And then we'll check up on Aspity, where we'll get even more instructions to go into weird places. We know all about you. Do you by any chance know where I could get some water around here? Most all barrels have been emptied. But you may luck into leftover water in some of them. You can bottle it up and sell it. how much a single sip of water will cost in 2 days. No less than 1,000,000, I guess. 1,000,000? Nah, I don't think I'll go that far. But 5,000 sounds possible. Just boil river water. There's some running water by the cathedral and the theater. The flow dies out often. That's just because the water has to accumulate first. Yes, that's also an option. These kids are a lifesaver. Ironically, doing stupid shit in infected districts has been paying out. All of the pins we have is giving me a hefty wiggle room with the bullets. If anything, we're better set for tomorrow. Oh yeah, that's comforting. Walking by casually and hearing the screaming of the dead dying. Please, just let me pass, dying women. There's nothing I can do for you. Hey, teenager. It's a terrible place to be, but you do you, man. Oh, that's easy. Hello, Tragedian. Bachelor Denkovsky, you will not find the person you're looking for behind this mask. I'm merely a humble comedian, just like you. You're exactly who I'm looking for. Then please be so kind as to tell me what I can do for you. I've been told that Immortel gave you the keys to the theater. But he didn't order the theater closed. That came from above. They told us to keep people from gathering in one place by any means. Truth is, in times such as this, the theater is the one place where people flock to in droves. Stop trying to be smart. Give me the keys. Could I perhaps beg a small favor from the omnipotent Bachelor? Please help me out of this place. I've already heard the Shabnak whispering in my ear. Follow me and stay in sight. Nice walk cycle, mate. You look fucking horrifying. I wish to thank you. Well, what do you offer? The keys that I gave you, most excellent Bachelor, will become municipal property. They will be handed over to the person overseeing the hospital, or whatever faculty you're going to turn the theater into. A morgue. How about lightening up a bit, Dr. Denkovsky? Isn't there room enough for the dead at the cemetery? You'll see for yourself. I think the chance will present itself soon enough. Okay, see ya, creepy masked man. Have a good one. Let's get out the revolver and, what's this? Got a letter. Alexander Sobrov's invitation. Bachelor, a detachment of our volunteers were ambushed and massacred by a band of armed marauders. Do you have any information at all with regards to the so-called barbers? I request that you pass it to me without further delay. It is imperative that we put an end to this criminal syndicate as soon as possible. I would also like to inform you that in order to fight the criminal spree of robbers and looters, I've had no other choice but to withdraw significant numbers of patrolmen whose previous orders were to cordon off the infected districts. Well, that's not good. We need those men. Have you seen the teenagers casually walking into infected areas? They really wanted me dead but couldn't understand that there was a gate.
Killing marauders now. Good.
Crime is seriously getting out of hand. Where are all those scoundrels coming from? It's as if their numbers double every hour. Knives everywhere. It's time to put an end to them. We should catch Grief and have him executed. Make an example out of him for challenging the new order. What did Grief do to upset you so? His men are murdering civilians in the streets. All the crime committed in the town right now are committed under his consent. Some under his direct orders. So what's keeping you from going after him? A group of patrolmen attempted a raid this morning, but they failed to catch the thieves off guard. Grief's gang managed to fight them off. I can't gather a new party immediately. There's not even enough men to cordon off the infected districts and curb looting. So who's gonna stop them? Any brave soul who managed to put a stop to their rampage will receive a sizable reward. I shall pay 30,000 for such a feat. If this keeps on, I'll start giving rewards for every dead criminal at any cost. By whatever means, this bloodbath needs to be stopped. You know what? I'll deal with them myself. I need to talk to Bad Grief about the thieves' rowdiness. The governor is planning to end their abuse shortly and swiftly. He also gave me 6 revolver bullets, which will become incredibly handy right here. Gotta check out these burnt out homes. So the actor has died. Let's first off heal, and second off not miss our first shot. There. There we go. So this is a new type of enemy, and they carry around crowbars, which are another item that you can turn into people for, yeah, it's another item you can turn into the guardsmen for trading prowess. So that's handy. Lemon. Despite the disturbing music, we raided a home like this just the other day, and now it's all cleaned up. Just in an instant, all of the damage of the plague has been reversed. Hear the combat music. Someone's noticed me. Not anymore. But yeah, this is the plagueless alternative to raiding plague homes. Essentially, by doing this, you can find more food. You can find more food and medicine, but at the cost of the really rare stuff like powders. Yeah, powders and weapons. You also have to use ammunition to kill off these marauders, because while they have less health than the muggers out on the streets, they're fast and they hurt. They really hurt. As you can see, they just bombed me out. I can take a couple of stabs from a typical mugger, but they just are a flurry of punches. You sacrifice health instead of becoming infected in these homes, along with using up your ammo. So, dickheads. They're really, really tough. Just aim up the shot to their head. That's what's really important. The lemon is important. Yeah. So, I might as well just run around and just quick save. I just got shit fucked when I walked up the staircase, oh no. I really shouldn't be dodging, now that I think about it, I shouldn't be dodging around consequences by, being like, oh, if I die in one hit, I could I should use the bandages and try to not die constantly. Yeah, I'm getting greedy. There. Now we can catch this person off guard. I was the one caught off guard. Calm down here, mate. Good AI. Tweering in pins. Random objects. There. Topped our health off. Let's not get annihilated this time. Hopefully. Oh no. I think our revolver is low on durability, meaning that we're going to miss more of our shots. Because the lower your durability, the more your weapon has spread. And spread is just as obnoxious as it sounds, given that ammunition is in such low supply. Also, there's the proof of having food. Just got a big thing of milk. Not amazing, but it works. Also, I'm not gonna carry around the needles. They're another incredibly rare, trading item that just doesn't have much of a place in the game. They go for one from the edgy kids, and that's it. So I'm gonna drink some coffee to get rid of my exhaustion. I'd love to stick around and loot crowbars, but, who? Oh. Great. Great. Stellar work, sir. The guard looted his stuff, okay. This day is going great, honestly. Just so good. With that, I got the rifle, so I'm kind of being a bitch, I admit. Please repair my weapons. That'll cost me 1,000, that is worth it. Because essentially that's saving us bullets. And bullets are worth 1,000 in of themselves. Of course, I could just over-twitch like I always do, and waste a bullet anyways. ADHD and first-person aiming does not go well together. Hey girls, going exploring? You shouldn't. I will take your bullet, however. Oh, quick save, and let's, yeah, there's the friend of the cathedral. Hello, sir. Could I convince you not to be here? Denkovsky, finally, I've been looking for you. Taking the opportunity, I'd like to say how much we admire your fearlessness, and the fact that you're unafraid to walk into this hell personally. You're, well, good job. Thank you. Seems like I've been looking for you, too. Oh, right, I have the keys to the cathedral. Big Vlad told me you were going to turn into a ward? I am. You know, our cathedral... Oh, never mind. I don't want to waste your time whining. What I wanted to say is that may be the only chance for it to fulfill its purpose. Perhaps it will finally host a miracle after all. It's fine. Give me your keys. Then I bid you farewell. It seems unlikely I'll be able to get out of here at all. I have a bad feeling about it. But I wish you the best of luck. Come with me. If I can save your life, I will happily do so. Also, I was almost sure that that guard was gonna come over and beat the guy that I was escorting. This is a cursed day. This day is not going good. Well, now we have no way to puss out of the plague. This is our fate. Alright, let's talk to you. Oh, I can't talk to him. Oh well. God damn it. He has fresh meat, and crowbars are worth 2 instead of 1. So, that's handy. Turin's also worth 2. So, I will do this. Oh wait, I need 1 crowbar, so 2 of these, and I'll grab a big slab of fresh meat. Well, this infected lady came out far. Looking like a bat. So, now that we have the infection, our infection will slowly grow up, and as we are infected, our health will slowly drain. The health drain
What's wrong with my eyes?
becomes more intense as the infection meter grows upwards. Pit-a-pat, pit-a-pat. Can you hear the kids running around? Spitty, you know already I'm not a man to be trifled with. Who destroyed the water supply? Oh, look at me, trembling with fear. Do you think, Serpent Tongue, that trifling with you is any fun? So the guy lost his temper. Big deal. It's not his fault. He's a simple worker. He was put up to do this. Well, by whom? Well, a lady of some importance. I don't think it would be too wrong to assume that she's hiding her real face from the majority. Definitely wouldn't be too wrong to assume that the lily-white daughter of the executed captain, Raval, knows the answer. Are you trying to say it was Lara who's inspired this? Go ahead and interrogate Lara the Angel. As for me, I'm done here. I'm hungry myself. It's a pity that I won't see you drive the poor sufferer into a corner. Oh, how I hate this tender dove type. If only I could sink my teeth into her slender white neck. Can't imagine Lara putting anyone up to do that. Yet somehow she knew to found the house of the living in advance. Somehow she stocked up in water in advance, if only for a few people. Somehow she avoided having an isolation ward in her very house. So many coincidences, wouldn't you agree? Oh, how naive she looks, how tender the voice, how inviting the little vein in her neck. That can't be. Clara the thief, on the other hand, turns out to be a saint. Huge load of miracles she performed yesterday. A ton of people healed by her hands. Unbelievable, isn't it? See, I am willing to admit the virtue of blessed girls, as long as they prove their sainthood with deeds done. We'll sort out this Clara later. And that's what he suggests this insane sabotage could have originated from Lara herself. I can't believe this. Well, we'll have to see soon. Right now, I'm stressed to get this quest done. Because, time is running short, and we still have 3 quests that need to be completed. One of them being a main quest. Talk to Bad Grief, and then we'll check out the little isolation ward that, what's his name? Big Vlad wanted me to check out. I will take a bandage because I am going to be needing those. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Alright. I think, I don't know this for certain, but I think that immunity actually, okay, I think immunity slows the spreading of infection in your body as well. While in Pathologic 2, it just stops the plague from, hitting you. I think immunity not only softens the blow of getting infected, but you also, get infected slower. Or did I already say that earlier? I don't know. This recording isn't going amazing, but I'll own up to my mistakes instead of restarting it or something like that. I'll say though, I'm a bit on the messy side with the commentary. Guess I'm just not feeling as ripe as I was on day 3 and 2, but it's fine. I'm not gonna sweat. Humans are not perfect, neither will I ever claim I am. Whoops. More bandages. All the while there's this panic, I have had about 60 water bottles earlier.
Changeling has grassed on Ripper, eh? That's a sly fox if I ever saw one.
Oh, how it...
Just the first come or not. She'll have her way with you too.
Okay. Oh, how it hurts to have your neck strangled, it does. The Sabra vassal has ordered his patrols to make 'em warehouses too hot for us lot. Like we ain't no free folks. We're doing the suffering for our fellow men's sins. Oh, really? And you are the righteous people, I suppose. My folks have never taken knives to the streets, so we had a gathering yesterday. Here goes me saying, anyone knife hungry is welcome to get the fuck out of here. You ain't no bothered brother to us. We don't want no blood on our hands. So Barley the barber did. Got up and got lost. The cunt went away to slaughter honest folks, and some of us went away with them too. Who's Barley? Filthy blood-sucking butcher, that's what he is. He's got one joy, killing them folks. Nothing is sacred for the cunt, and the rest of 'em bloodthirsty skunks have gone with them, they have. So 'tis for the misdeeds that we endure persecution. 'Tis for their sins that Sabrov sets his rabid mongrels after us. I can see that he's hitting a raw nerve in you. They multiply by the hour, they do. Every little fuck in the town wants in on Barley's deal. If only you could find their pest hole and kick them out of there, eh, Doc? Got a dreadful lot of 'em, folks. It's where all the innocent blood flows from. I'd do the supplying part for you, them. You'd be swimming in bullets and monies. Nothing's too good for a holy cause. Let the cunt bleed dry. I'll kill them. Both ammo and money would be greatly appreciated. Ah, you kinda soul, I swear to you. I won't forget that in forever. As soon as the deed's done, come back here and I'll shower you in all the gifts. Do I have your honest, truest, best word? You do. Keep the fee at hand. I will be back soon. So, the doctor has become a murderer of his own. But hey, I'm murdering the murderers. That makes it okay. Morality works that way, I think. While in reality, it's less so morality and the conscience. How would I word that? People like justice. It may not be moral to be a vigilante, But in this case, if it saves some people's necks in the future, they're gonna be happy that it was done. What makes people happy may not be the most morally golden thing in the world. Not always. Sometimes, though. Nobody's gonna argue about charity. So this area is a bit infamous, and I will... well, wish me luck. That's all I'll say. Help me, God. There, did it. So, if we just easily shot down like 8 of these clones of bull-cutted men coming out of their fucking clown car in this warehouse. It's a lot of money in trading items, but Jesus Christ. Oh, this is a good screenshot. Yes! The Union. I know a couple of my friends are just gonna piss themselves seeing that. Oh, that makes it all so worth it. Also, the place locks itself. And also that hellhole was gonna be used as the morgue. Well, Gimski, what the fuck? Get your shit together. Fortunately, you'll wonder why Sabrov was going to give you 30,000. It's because you have to go through hell and back to get that quest done. Lots of ammo, lots of health. I pulled it off anyways because I'm a dick. And I like completion. I also like money. Also, I pulled out the rifle at first because I wanted to get a piercing kill, hitting 2 guys in the head, but it didn't work out. So it probably cost me even more health, because I'm terrible.
He who loans a minute owes a year in interest.
It's over, Grief. Your former buddies are no more. And that's what I like to call a job well done, Doc. I remember not to get on your bad side. You promised me something. My word is solid, it is. I promised to shower you in gifts, so I will. Here are the monies. Do not grieve for it, Grief. Your money will find its way back to you in no time. 10,000. You could, spend all of that on stuff at his store, but... thinking about it, I kinda do wanna spend it at his store, actually. We'll just see what's there.
He who loans a minute. Changeling is...
Do I want the repellent jackboots? 20,000. Oh, no, I don't. I'll take your revolver ammo. And I'll sell you knives. I'll sell you a bronze bracelet because we're running out of room. There. Thank you for the ammo, which is pretty much the exact amount I spent, so... like, 7 bullets, all being 600. We still made a profit. From bad Grief alone, though. We still have to talk to Sabrov. How's our infection? Very low. It's not climbing up all that fast. It's in its earliest stages. Plus, we only got... No, we did get a face full of plague. We've been spending most of our time in conversations, so that's why it's growing slow. We'll, however, start zooming once we, it'll grow really fast once we start sleeping. That's where the plague usually crawls up on you. Not from wandering around, but when you're doing other things, like sleeping. Thank you, sir. How's the cloak doing? It's almost broken. That's great. Which means our protection is pretty bad because the cloak is being tattered. To be fair, I walked through a bunch of plague today, and trudged through a big storm of knives, got punched repeatedly. Hey, this cloak has, seen some shit in the stay alone. This game isn't easy. This game is not easy. Take some Metroform. Why not? Once you go to the Sabrovs, we'll talk to Lara Raval and see what she has to say about the water. Though I struggle to believe it was her who'd start a rumor like that. We'll see what her account is, and where the quest leads us, but that's strange. God damn it, these people... It's amazing how these people are self-sabotaging themselves. They're walking out in the middle of this pandemic. Not only are they walking around out in this pandemic, there's also... They're killing each other in the streets. They've destroyed the water supply.
Okay, I'll make it. I'm made of wood.
Hope you're not made of wood. Grief insists that he has nothing to do with it. The murderers are misfits that he cast out of his community. Are you sure? He swears that he has forbidden anyone who is still loyal to the ancient tradition of their brotherhood from touching a knife. The murderers are not warehousemen. They're allies of some Barley the Barber. Yes, I've heard that name. His men ambushes and slaughters the patrolmen near the boiler house. We need to hunt him down and kill them. Kill him, then. Better yet, hunt him down and thoroughly interrogate him. See if he confirms Grief's words. Barley will be killed. Yeah, I've already done this.
They say hitting hard is a good enough start.
The barber's lair is destroyed. Everyone I found there is dead. Good. We shall root out crime with extreme prejudice. That won't be enough. Many say that there are now hundreds of robbers. That 1 in 5 leaves their home knife in hand at night. They're driven to this by despair and the lack of order. There are plenty of bad examples turning townsfolk into killers. Fear shall be our weapon. When those family men see how mercilessly we deal with murderers, they'll think twice before touching a knife. If only it were that simple. I wish to reward your heroism. I hope you'll accept this money. Perhaps it will at least partially compensate the unavoidable expenses that come out from your dangerous work. Yes, I will. 5,000, not 30,000. Maybe wishing for that much was a bit hopeful. 5,000 is still a good amount, meaning we got 15,000 out of this exchange. Still, I'll take it. Also, what he said was something I wanted to bring up on day 2. The people we're killing are desperate. I guess it's kind of the other way around, that those sickly men the sickly beggar men could end up. They either desperately need money and food, or their families are infected. Themselves too, maybe. The game works in shades of gray, even though all of the marauders look like evil, grinning, horrible people that come out of clown cars in warehouses, apparently. Yeah. It was better presented in 2. In general, 2 is a bit more nuanced to it, but this is a good base. So, Lara, what do you have to say for yourself?
A stranger brought me a peculiar vial today.
Lara, I'm afraid we're about to have a rather difficult task. Did you know that the water supply has been damaged deliberately? Heavens no. Who would even consider that? That's what I want you to tell me. With whom did you talk about the water before the supply was cut? Not entirely sure. There were many people. Talked to everyone who was helping me with the hassle of living. I must have asked someone to deliver water, of course. And who is that? Let me see. Perhaps... Right. I talked about the water with Daddy... Clock. I don't know how to say that. He used to be a taskmaster in the dormitory. Then he bought himself out and became a patrolman. I did indeed tell him that he should boil water before using it, that it's risky to drink natural water like that. But I didn't mean any harm. That's a no-brainer. A newborn baby knows that. No one could have gone rampant destroying the town's water supply chain because of this rather straightforward information. He also asked me whether one should boil the rags and bed sheets that the infected were dying on. I remember it weirded me out a bit. Why would he ask about bed sheets? He's a patrolman, not a laundry person. Well, why'd you tell him? Of course I told him he should do that. He's from the kin, you see. He had to be explained the benefits of boiling water, so I did my best to describe to him how that is useful and essential to hygiene. Makes sense. He did nothing wrong. That would make sense. I guess the kin wouldn't understand water filtrations. They'd believe that the water coming out from the pipes are also infected. So they destroyed the water filtration, so... I don't know. But I guess that's the dead end to the quest. I don't know what else to go on. Other than, perhaps a man from the kin had destroyed the water pipes. Possibly out of, pipes or water filtration. No, it was the pipes, because the water isn't even flowing. But out of some misunderstanding from the kin, that wound up destroyed, unfortunately. This town will kill itself. Either way, though, let's get the ward and the hospital set up. Should we avoid to arrange a morgue in the town theater? Please be so kind as to take my orders seriously. Mark Immortel.
Our delusionment is often a delight to both our friends and enemies.
The theater welcomes the distinguished audience at any time. There's a performance of the masks every evening, and the blood gets rinsed off every night. The rest of the time slots are filled with a puppet show. That's not all we have. Magic tricks, fortune-telling, dream reading. Whoever has eyes, let them see. Is this a theater? It's rather small. True, this is a chamber theater. Since I have the pleasure of being the booking agent, director, and the impresario around here, I can also tell you that our shows are not for everyone's eyes. Sounds quite intriguing, but unfortunately I have other matters to attend to.
It would be curious to take a look at Simon now.
Are you here on business? I'm just looking around. So I guess this place is fine. Not seeing anything out of the ordinary. Let me check the quest log. Let's go back and talk to the tragedian. Oh, a hospital, kind sir. A hospital. Please do come in. The facility is ready to be examined. Is the supply of spring water constant? You're welcome to check it yourself, Honorable Bachelor. You're welcome. Clean up the facility and order the delivery of anything that the hospital attendants might require. Huh. That didn't really go anywhere. So we're turning the theater in the hospital, and the theater is the morgue? We'll see how this turns out, I suppose. I remember it being the other way around. Perhaps the iconography is betraying me. What I mean by that, you will see in the next day. That is not my way to transition out of the episode, however, because we still have 2 more tasks to do at least. Even though we've been infected, we're doing incredibly well on ammunition, which is something, I suppose. I'd say that combat is a very small part of this game, and that infection is very all-consuming, but, you know, I shouldn't complain. I'm not scared. Would you like to inspect the cathedral? Well, so there really is a spring with drinking water inside. Yes, 2 even. I think it's going to be very crowded here soon. Do you know there's been some strange sabotage? Someone ruined the town's water supply, and drinking from the river doesn't feel safe nowadays. I disagree, it's safe to... Well, we should get on to tasks. Well... Let's do this. Can let people inside until we start getting the first potentially infected. I forbid entry after that. Certainly does have flowing water. Quite a interesting cathedral. I've seen everything I need. Guess now I should turn the quest into Victor and then return to Big Vlad? He does want the keys, so that makes sense.
It is far easier to be wise for others than to be so for oneself.
I don't wish to think that we're being eaten alive, but given how fast it's spreading, that just might be true. I have inspected the district. I take it upon myself to confirm that the rumors are true. The district is clean, and a little freer of looters now. Good tidings! This will help ease the fate of the epidemic's latest victims. Even better than you think. If we can prevent unnecessary commotion and keep the healthy in isolation wards, we'll stop the disease. It'll burn out like a forest fire. Are you now certain that the disease doesn't stay dormant in an infected person for a while before revealing itself? I dare not doubt your expertise. However, until we have established the origin of the infection, it's too early to declare the enemy defeated. Yes, you're right, but the ward will become operational soon. I hope you won't be offended, but it's going to be set up in the town's cathedral. I have very high hopes for the facility. Indeed? Well, it was conceived as a shelter for those in need. Now it can finally fulfill its intended function. Those who enter may potentially be carrying the seed of corruption in them, but only the clean will leave. And that's the quest. I don't think there's any real reward to it. You just, perhaps make the town a little better. Now that people can move back into their old houses, assuming the plague doesn't spring back up. I don't think a microbe can die and then resurrect itself, so I'd like to say that the corpses won't flare back up. Unless there's something about corpses that we don't know, at which point Ruben should be really quick on that, so we can rectify such a mistake. But for now, it's fine. I am a little bit uneasy about that option, though. Let's return to Big Vlad and hope that's everything. Believe that all of the sub-quests have been completed. As usual, I will stockpile ammunition because why not? Got all these pins, you might as well. Also stockpiling up the hazelnuts in case I find another box of powders on a child. In particular, the short little girls in the... I don't even know what that clothing is called. Never been good on fashion. Or architecture. Or much of anything, honestly. Yeah, it's the effect of the infection. It's growing. Not too bad. No, it's still small. We're fine. I will, however, use some of our money to mend our clothes. That is 2,000. Makes sense, but... Huh. Protection didn't actually go up very high. Let me try putting them back on. No protection, There we go. Now things looking good. Protection from infection is pretty high, which is always good. No, I'm not gonna go see her.
Stupid whelps. And my out of specs too. You could have talked them out of this. They could have lived.
I'm done. The cathedral will serve as an isolation ward. The theater has become a hospital. The morgue will be located in a remote warehouse. Here are the keys. Done my yesterday's work, haven't you, Doctor? I've done what had to be done to thwart the danger. I don't know if there is a point to it, though. The absolute mortality rate is a generally recognized fact. Victor, dare I say, has even endeavored to prove it. Did you know? No. Why would he have done something like that? Talk to him. He'll explain his motives in detail. I guess I will. Let me look for the quest log. Alright. I think that is all the quests of the day. Yes, that is everything. So for now... It's becoming late. We should finish up the day, I suppose. Buy some coffee, buy a couple of other things while the prices are low. Just generally stock up for day 5. Fortunately, we're coming out of this day with the infection, however, hopefully we'll have the tools to fend it off, because, quite possibly, for the next 8 days, we're going to have to be staving off this infection. It's gonna be fun for absolutely nobody. I also went through my huge stockpile of bandages today, because I just did terribly at combat. God damn it. Go away. Oh yeah, quick check. Okay, that place is locked. Whatever. Fine. I was gonna show you that if you dip into a house, all enemies despawn. Like this. Now, the affected women and the rat are disappeared. So, that's handy. If you have a bunch of rats on you, just dip into, like, a store or something, and they'll all be gone when you come out. I highly recommend that for rats, because they're an absolute bitch to deal with. And got me initially affected today. Lovely creatures. Buy some coffee, and that will be that here. For now, I'll backtrack through the town looking for meat. Received a note. Of the bound fallen ill, the following sanitary precautions are hereby announced. There are citizens, so-called bound, who seem to be extraordinarily involved in town happenings. They are regularly contacted by people of different lines of occupation and social standings, including your 2 colleagues. They also try to compensate for what they believe to be your inaction with their own efforts. Consideration of that, the executor community has decided if a bound person falls ill, the door to their home shall be guarded by an executor. While the bound person remains conscious, the executor should collect mail deliveries from them and pass them over to them the provisions and medicaments delivered by the couriers. In exceptional cases, it is allowed to visit the patient. Visit the patient to enable communications with the bound person. The executor should resort to higher efficiency antibiotic medicine, like ferromycinium. Vaccines, serums, and other such solutions should be administered, if available, in the same manner as the above. This essentially means that bounded people that are failed by either yourself or the other playable characters including in-universe, because they're doing their quest simultaneously as yours. And as a simulation of that, their bound can randomly become infected too. So for example, what's her name? Capella can become infected, and if you need to talk to her for a quest, you have to hand over phenomycelium, because, the Haruspecs failed them. And this can happen randomly to any NPC. I think there is a limited amount of people who can become infected by the end, though. Kinda like a total variable. Just so, like, you don't wind up where, like, everybody gets infected if you get extraordinarily unlucky. Oh. Never seen that before. Should stop by the... what's the area called? The big circle with the meat shop. I do not recall. Yeah, this area. Oh well, really isn't important. Oh, wrong side of the house. There we go. And I will take bread, fish, and smoked meat. Thank you. I believe that is all for today. We'll sleep to the 24th hour, and then we will pick up our plague map and see the theater for today. And of course, then I'll be able to show off how infection works, because we'll be sleeping for long enough for the infection to grow. Oh boy. Besides all of this ludicrous amounts of walking, the infection mechanic is one of the reasons why this game is so hard, honestly. Because the infection, it doesn't fuck around. It's incredibly hard to deal with. And that's a really good thing. Well, for the game. For us, God help us, honestly. Survival mechanics tend to be, it tries to be so, but I feel like it's more so just a way to limit down how much money you have. This isn't a game where I've ever starved, but I have died of sickness. I've also died of being shanked and beaten to death. Because, yeah. Anyways, let's leave our quick save, and we shall sleep. So the infection is growing exceptionally slowly, for two reasons.
The day is over. Your timely efforts allowed your supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theater.
What?
Okay, so first off, I'm wearing protective clothing. That naturally decreases the spread of... oh, fuck. The stone yard is infected. That's incredibly concerning, honestly. That really caught me off guard. Holy fuck. Let's get out of here. Yeah. And also because it's at a low stage. It grows quicker when you're more infected. damn, the Stoneyard is infected on day 5. That is incredibly early for the rich districts to get infected. Oh, this area is infected too. The plague is really spreading now. It's getting concerning. Let's get to Vlad real quick. Then we'll chomp down our food and see what all is infected today. It's so unsettling seeing places you were just hours ago suddenly are now coated in blood, in mold. Tonight the patrols were grabbing anyone who looked even remotely suspicious. 24 people are arrested for just having a knife or other weapons in their possession. Many were taken for not giving out Yaklak's accomplices. Others for looting the dead of their homes. Or their homes. What will happen to these people? Almost all of them are innocent. There's no direct evidence that prove otherwise. They're waiting the judgment of an inquisitor, who's bound to arrive here very soon. Tomorrow night, I think, or early on the next day. But since it's going to be either Orf or Karminski, I wouldn't expect much lenience. Why are you so sure of their innocence? Because the patrolman would have killed anyone proven guilty. However tenacious the accusation, during the arrest, if they didn't feel in the right ending those people's lives, then the arrested are innocent. Perhaps a few of them might just happen to be robbers, but that's pure coincidence. It's a disgrace. Rest assured that I will speak with the Sobrovs about that. I want to bribe the executor guards and free some of the other people. Would you be willing to help me? Yes, with pleasure. Unexpected gesture from you, though. What's your motive? Duty. I don't really sympathize with people regardless of which side of the bars they're on, but I feel responsible for any acts committed by those in power. It is my duty to undo and compensate at least a fraction of the damages inflicted by the law enforcer's incompetence. I doubt Sabrov will approve of your actions when he finds out, but very well. I'll collect as much money as I can.
Your most important mission is saving people. Do something.
So you're having your people chart the infection hotspots on a regular basis now, aren't you? I'd like to have a look. At a big discount, almost for free. It'll only be 1,000. Very modest price when compared to the food shops. Alright, so the atrium is infected. What's that location called? The mouth is infected, and the tanners are infected. Great. This town is falling apart. So let me get out my... Where's my inventory? There. I'll eat some of the lighter foods. Smoked meat, dried meat, milk, and bread. That has done us well. I'll check the prices of the shop, we'll sell everything we have, and we'll avoid the plagued areas. Now, if people are coming outside, walking around, there's no excuse. It's clear that the plague is going to ravage everything. If it can infect a rich person's district, the people who, more than anybody else, has soap and medicine, I don't think... These people. People need to stay inside. There's no excuses anymore. If you go out, you die. And as you've seen from our bound, walking into their homes under plague conditions, their houses remain fine. The shopkeepers remain fine. All of the houses we loot are from people that just leave their homes and become infected. Or chased off into infection. Or pellet cloak. Huh. Well, Oh yeah, the needles are expensive now, which means the prices have been inflated once again. In fact, I'm gonna take that as my cue to sell stuff. Lockpick. Monomycelium. Alpha tablets. And I think that is all. Sell the watches if I wanted to, but I want to use that to gather more expensive medications to sell to these guys. I think I want to keep these. I'm not going to use powders. I'm going to have to just dirty bulk all of these monomyceliums for myself. And I'm going to keep trading kids for them. I really don't want this plague to get the best of me, because it can get so miserable. The plague, I've been scoffing at combat, I've been scoffing at looting. The plague scares me. It's the one mechanic that I think there's no real good way to cheese. It's just terrifying. I need these antibiotics desperately. My one saving grace is the clothing on my back. Just loot these bins, and there is a lone tragedian out here. Spare some change for a poor, miserable actor. Give him food. Yours truly would gladly gobble down anything, even a piece of infected meat from the forbidden storage. I'm so desperate just to live a couple more days to witness the ending. And the miserable actor is you? That's my persona, a miserable actor. Although in all honesty, there are no happy masks in the fatal loss. I'll have you know that it's a classical mime play that's been on the stage of our theater for several generations. It only has bold masks, just masks and miserable masks. What is the play about? The loss, or rather, the fatal loss. Fatal is important here, but not because it has to do with death, but rather because of the loss was bound to happen. It's about inevitability. Yeah, you're talking about fatalism. Where was I? Yes. This tragedy is a mime performance that's become somewhat of a ritual for us. It's the only play we stage. The author remains unknown, although legends has it that they were of divine nature. You only stage one play. Don't you get fed up with it? It has its merits. Firstly, the story is true. Secondly, it adds a precarious hint of sacred service to the performance. Throughout all the years the loss has been on stage, it's been accompanied by a chain of mysterious coincidences. One might suggest that the structure of the ancient drama emulates the structure of the universe. So what's the story? The story's all around you, Bachelor. Just look at how tragic the tragedy that's unfolding in the town is. It's just additional proof of the truthfulness of our esteemed impresario's words. A play is performed on stage, but it's executed in real life. I see what you're leading on to. Fine, I'll talk to Immortel about it.
One of them is trying to fight.
Who?
This one. The other two will try to thwart their efforts, though.
Interesting. Will they fall into the trap?
I wonder. Look what they've turned the theater into.
I hope they know what they're doing. Unavoidably, blood will be shed tomorrow.
theater has become a morgue.
What?
Nothing important, I'm just doing the rounds. And so I thank you for joining me on this day. I admit my words were a little bit sloppy this time around. Not too happy with the commentary, but I'll live. Again, I accept my mistakes. Now, I am going to foolishly blame that on the fact that it is 4:30 a.m. right now. I have an incredibly unhealthy schedule, and nobody can stop me. So, once I'm done looting these bins, that will be all. Thank you for joining me on this worldly play. And I will see you on day